Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to episode 359 of your Overseas Connection podcast, the official podcast of the G4TE.com community. That is gaming for the elderly, a friendly, mature gaming community. Today is, like I said, February 26th. It's Saturday. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time. It is 11 p.m. in the UK, I do believe. And, well, if you're joining us right now, you definitely are wanting to hear us talk about video games. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our spectacular cast of podcasters today. Starting at the very bottom left for me, the ever-happy Nicole Radowski.
I am happy. I am.
I know. You love today. Today has been a fun day.
It has. It's been beautiful.
See?
Like, there's sunshine and shit outside.
Sunshine and shit. It makes for a fun day.
See?
Yeah, I know. And, of course, right off to your side there, we have your partner in crime, Kim Woods.
Yeah.
Kim, are we pantless or are we panted?
No, I am pantless.
Okay, pantless podcast for the win.
Yeah.
All the kids now are tuning in, hoping for that camera just to drop down just a little bit. Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah.
No, don't.
No.
That's bad.
No, that'd be awful. Terrible.
We are adult rated, but not for that kind of adult rating.
No.
Yeah.
I don't need that all internet, thanks.
And last but certainly not least, we have a special guest on the show this week. Infamous Nicole Radowski impersonator, Richard Natras. Rich, welcome to the show.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. I was hoping to get through the show without mention of a certain impression coming up, but
right.
No.
Stars we mean to go on.
Yeah, Rich, that was never going to not be brought up. You know this, right?
Yeah, to be honest with you, the very moment that I started with, hey y'all, I knew eventually I would be facing my...
Yeah. As you recall, I used to try and do Nicole impressions. I learned the hard way. I no longer do them.
You make it sound like Paula Deen. I'm just saying.
I can cook the shit out of some stuff, but not like her. So.
All right, well, Nicole, Paula, no, never mind. Staying clear. Rich, give us a quick lowdown. Where do you come from? What parts of England are you from? What podcast do you come from? Let's give some proper due here. I want to give you, a right kickoff.
Okay, well, I hail from England, as shown on my badge there.
Boo!
So I am the only limey on this podcast tonight. I come from the land of Robin Hood himself, Nottingham. I live just outside though, so.
Wait, so you're actually like in the Black Forest? Is it Black Forest?
Sherwood Forest.
Oh,
Sherwood Forest.
Sure. The Black Forest
for
is
fuck's
German.
sake! Come on, Nicole. I'm American. I don't know anything about England, other than that
not even.
they have a Union Jack for a flag.
It's not even the right part of the lake. It's like
I know.
Even I knew that. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Are you close to the Loch Ness Monster, Rich?
Sort of.
Right now,
If
everybody
I pull back
in
these
England
curtains,
is
it's just woods behind me now. So
I'm pretty sure, like
Oh, dear
across
Lord.
the UK, there are multiple people screaming at their computer right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say so. As the day job, you would normally find me on the Boss Wave. So that is my normal haunt.
Okay.
So
All right. Excellent.
You're
Excellent.
gonna make me seasick. Stop moving.
sorry. It's the camera thing. I can't. Yeah.
You're good. Boss Way podcast, fantastic podcast. You guys do a great job. So big time props. Although, as discussed on Twitter, I did finally figure out, Chris MJ, MJW. I always I would hear his voice and I was like, where do I know? He sounds so familiar to me. And then I came across a Wallace and Gromit cartoon, and instantly I was like, it's Wallace. He is Wallace. So that is literally the visual I get in my head now every time I hear him on the podcast. And that's not to be mean. I love Wallace. I love Chris. So it's all good.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
No, probably not. Probably not. But, oh well. Cat's out of the bag. Let's talk video games. So, we traditionally kind of kick it around what we've been playing. So, Rich, you are our guest. So, by all means, please walk us through what you've been playing.
Okay, I'll start off with a little game you may or may not have heard of. It's called Oxenfree. You guys familiar with this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I've been very curious. I did not take the plunge. And it's one of those things. I'm going to go on a tangent real quick with you, Rich. It's one of the things I really miss about Xbox Live Arcade, and to a certain degree PSN. There's just not any demos of games anymore. And this is a game I really wanted to see a trial of because I think I would like this game, but I was not willing to buy before trying, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I mean, I only got it because I saw a little bit of hype about it, and I just happened to on the store. I saw it was £15, or
right.
as Greg would obviously know, at $5. It's $20 in American. So I got it, and the game can be summed up with the following sound effects. First off, it's quite intriguing. So you're like, okay, right, ooh, oh,
Oh,
that's how.
that's not good.
Ironically, I also now have visions of Wallace and Gromit cartoon in my head.
It was the big mouth.
Anyway.
So, I mean, the game itself is quite a simple-looking game. It could be used enough on the Amiga or the Super Nintendo sort of graphics. But you start off and you're some teens going to an island, and it's one of these sort of walking simulators, really. The story is moved along using speech bubbles. Each time someone speaks to you, you get 3 speech bubbles above your head, and you choose one of the options. Or one of the options is not choose anything.
Okay.
And they were acting. And that kind of gets the story going, and you learn a little bit about each of the teens and their relationships with each other. So that's the quite intriguing part. So it kind of draws you in quite a lot, and you're kind of intrigued what's going on with all these kids. And then as you go into the game a little bit, I mean, the mechanics of it are you're walking around a screen.
Okay.
There are a few items here and there you can sort of interact with. For example, you can throw a stone into the sea. You can stoke a fire. Stuff like that. But they're kind of incidental to the actual game. The game itself is run virtually purely on the conversations you have and the interactions you have with other characters.
Okay.
So as the story progresses, you come across a few supernatural happenings, which is the main story itself. Something weird is going off on this island, and there's 5 or 6 teens, and you are a team of 2, and you're sort of going around the island, interacting with different people, trying to sort of put the story together.
Okay.
But for me, I mean, the game's only 4 hours long, and I'm probably maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours into it. But it's the kind of game that when you're playing it, it's not too bad. You can kind of stick with it a little bit, but once you put that game down, it doesn't make you want to pick it up again. I mean,
okay, all right.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, I'm not into these walking simulators anyway. I kind of like my games a bit actiony.
Right.
You know, something that kind of
something to do. I mean,
actiony. I like that word.
Actiony.
Action.
You know, everybody needs a little actiony in their life.
Thing. Yeah,
No kidding.
It's an English thing. Don't worry about it. I may be using a few words which don't quite sound like they might be words, but you never know.
We'll just smile and nod.
Yeah. So I talk on the Bossway quite a lot about the Walking Dead games. You know, the Telltale games, for example, and they aren't my bag at all. I don't really enjoy playing them.
Okay.
I can't get into them. So if I knew this game was kind of like that, I probably wouldn't have got it.
Right.
So for some people's tastes, yeah, it's probably quite an interesting little story. But for me personally, no, it doesn't quite do enough to keep me hooked. So,
okay. Well, that's unfortunate to hear. But, I mean, it's important that it gets out there. That, I mean, you know, obviously the game is not an action game. It's not it doesn't sound like there's a lot of puzzles to it either. So I mean, it really is the dialogue that's really the main focus of the game.
Yes, I mean, from what I've come across, there's one mechanic in the game which is it the puzzle. It's not really a puzzle because it's so simple to do. Is you have a radio, and when you get to certain points, you'll tune this radio in,
right,
and that will make things happen. And that is pretty much the only mechanic of it. So there's no puzzle, there's no action, there's no fighting. I don't think you can't die in any way.
Mm-hmm.
You're just being part of a story that's going to get told anyway, and you can sort of change the story slightly, but what's going to happen is pretty much going to happen. So,
that's especially disappointing. So I thought there might be some replayability based on choices you make, and it might take the story in a different direction, kind of like The Walking Dead. Although I guess you can still make the argument that The Walking Dead ultimately you wind up in the same place anyway. You know, there's variances to how you got there, but ultimately you'll be in the same ending spot as everybody else.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think there's even that level of choice that I've come across anyway. So no.
Would you have been happier with this game? And I think this is probably a very obvious answer, but I mean, you know, if it was say £5 cheaper, would it have been maybe something that you would feel better about?
Because,
no.
I mean, even at £15, not to sound like a rich man, but you know,
right.
£15, you know, isn't a full price game anyway. So I've not paid a lot of money for it, and if I'd paid £5 for it, I'd still have the same reaction. That it's just not. I found it boring.
All right.
So
fair enough.
I mean, some people might love it, and I wouldn't say don't buy it because it looks beautiful and it's an interesting mechanic, but it's just not for me. So yeah, Oxenfree. Pick it up if you want, or don't. So
you have been warned.
Yeah, a little bit. Next one is the Division beta, or beta, whichever way you want to pronounce it. I'm sure this has been covered in quite a lot of depth by quite a lot of people, so I won't say too much on it. But apart from, I originally went in the closed beta because I pre-ordered it.
Right.
I pre-ordered it purely to get into the beta with a plan of just cancelling it basically straight away once I played the beta.
Okay.
Just so I got my demo, but then it cost me no money. But I've kept my pre-order. I've played both betas. I enjoyed what they were. I'm worried the world might be a little bit sparse and a little bit repetitive with the cover shooter style game. So it might get a little bit boring after a while, but I'll keep my pre-order and it could be fantastic, but it's hard to tell at this stage, I'd say. So, yeah, that's Division Beta in a nutshell, really.
Okay.
Next one is a game that I've played quite a lot of, and I've been playing tonight, actually, is Just Cause 3.
Okay.
Is this on anyone's radar at all, or any Just Cause games?
I do have Just Cause 3. I've played a little bit of it. I'll just say I struggled to get into it, and I think there was, for good reason. There were other games that were kind of drawing my attention. Fallout 4 in particular was one that they both, through the kindness of my long lost brother, were part of my game share plan, and so I just gravitate towards Fallout 4. But Just Cause 3 seems like it's it can be a game that you literally could just pick up and play whenever you want.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. I mean, people listen to Boss Way sort of know my circumstance. I've got a little 2-year-old and I've got a fairly new baby. So my gaming time can be quite limited sometimes, and I'll probably jump on for sometimes an hour. If my little lad goes to sleep, I'll try and grab an hour or 2 hours here and there. So a game like Fallout, which I've turned on 3 or 4 times, but I've not had the time to really spend the time to figure it out. So I've never played Fallout before. So all the menus and just using your Pip-Boy. I mean, for me, because I can't figure that out in half an hour, it puts me off playing the game because I don't have the time to invest in it. Whereas this game, I'll put it on for an hour or two and I'll just have fun. It kind of, for me, harks back to what I think games should be. And that is just a lot of fun There can be so much in games like The Witcher 3, like Fallout, where you've got this big inventory that you've got to manage, and there's so much you've got to do in this game and think about in these games. But with Fallout 4, with Just Cause 3, it's took all that away. I mean, there's no crafting.
Right.
There is some sort of upgrades you can do, but they're by the by. There's no inventory. You carry one sort of rocket launch type thing, one machine gun. You can dual wield, and you've got some grenades, and that is pretty much all you've got. So all you're doing is you're sitting down, you're taking on an army base, or you're taking on a town, and you're just destroying as much as you can and just having a bit of fun. It's a game you wouldn't sit down and play 5 hours of, because if you played it for 3 or 4 hours, you would get bored because it is pretty samey. But as a pick up and just have fun and just the explosions and just the chaos of the whole game, I love it because it really suits the way I can play games at the moment. And you know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is mine because I know. I want to have fun with video games sometimes. Sometimes they feel like a job.
It's important to have fun in video games. I completely agree. I definitely agree with that. All right, what else, Rich? You have a couple other games on here. One in particular I'm actually really curious about because I also have that. I bought it in a sale and have yet to try it. But we'll get to that. Go forward. Continue on, please.
I'll quickly get through Lara Croft Go. Did any of you guys play Hitman Go at all?
No.
They are a sort of a grid room puzzler, I suppose, best way to describe them.
Right.
You'll enter a room at one point. There'll be another point where you're going to get out the room, and you have to navigate your way around this room, avoiding either monsters or pulling levers and doing little puzzles to sort of interact with the environment or take down different beasts to sort of get yourself from A to B. It's as simple as that, but it's fun. It's what you describe as a toilet game.
Right, because this is on the iPad, correct?
Well, I play it on my iPhone.
Okay,
so,
all right.
But even that, it doesn't lose anything being on a slightly smaller screen for me.
Okay.
So,
and
no, it's...
I would like to also point out, I think you incorrectly described what you play it on, because what I'm hearing is you play it with your iPhone on the toilet.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. It isn't available in the toilet. We are quite high tech in England, but we don't have interactive toilets quite yet.
Right.
So yeah, it's quite a simple little game, and it's only a couple of quid. So
that was actually a question I had. Was it a paid for game or was it a free to play game? I did not recall.
Paid. I paid £1.49. Okay. So in Greg logic, that's $6.49, but it's about $2. Okay. So yeah, it's not free, but I think sometimes if you get a free game, you're more liable to put it down without playing it properly. Whereas if you paid £2, you are kind of, I'll give it a bit more effort.
And does this have like microtransactions in it, or is it kind of free of that because it is paid?
I've not come across any.
That's great. So that's good then. That's well worth spending $2, whatever. Yeah. That's definitely worth it.
And there's nothing in the game you could buy, because Hitman had different outfits you could wear in disguises, but again, they was all part of the game. And again, on this, you do pick up weapons, but it would be detrimental to the game if you had that weapon at the start of the level. It wouldn't make any sense because it would remove the whole puzzle of how do you get to that weapon, where do you use that weapon, and what you would do. So, no, it's a game that's designed... It's not worth having microtransactions, so I think they're taking their £1.49, and but no, it's worth it. I think it's an enjoyable game. And finally is Dying Light: The Following. So
yes, okay. So this is the expansion, and I missed The Following because it was on the next line down. That was my own bad reading. So I have Dying Light waiting for me to play at some point, but The Following is the newest expansion, and it's a standalone expansion, correct?
Yes, pretty much, yes.
I mean, it includes the original game, but you can buy the Dying Light Following on its own, or if you had The Following, you can buy the DLC, I think.
I believe you can. I mean, that's not what I got. I mean, I got it thanks to my game share for my console share. That's how I got it, because Dying Light was my game of the year last year. I love that game. I think...
I know I need to play it. I look at it every time I fire up my console. I see the little... And I'm like, yeah, I should just hit play. But I haven't yet.
Everything about that game was beautiful, and that's why it was my game of the year. I mean, the big thing is that it's first person, and I'm not a first person guy. I'm a third person because I like to see my person. I don't know what it is. That's just why I play games.
Especially when there's gear, like when there's collectible things that actually make a visual change to your character. There's something kind of fun about that dress up part of it, and so I'm with you. Back off, Nicole. I like to play dress up. I like it.
You're playing dolls. That's what you're doing.
Yes, leave my doll alone.
So Dying Light was my game of the year, and I love that game so much. But I'm not a DLC guy. I get games, I complete them, I trade them in, I use that money to get another game. So Dying Light, come March, April of last year, I'd finished it, and it was gone. So, but then I heard about this sort of expansion, and people were going crazy for it, and I started to get a little bit gutted. I was thinking, oh no, I've traded mine in. So I don't really want to pay 20 odd quid to actually buy the game again just to get its expansion. So I was a little bit gutted, but then just one day randomly when I went online to I think I downloaded the Division beta, suddenly I had 6 items in my queue, and I was like,
it's Christmas!
Yeah, and I clicked on it, and my console share buddy had downloaded Dying Light, every bit of DLC, and the following. So I was like, yes, result, that's another freebie. I mean, I do a lot better out of him than he does out of me, to be quite honest with you. But, it was his choice. So everything I loved about Dying Light original was the parkour through the city. I mean, if you've not played it, it's a first-person parkour, zombie slaying action thriller. So you're parkouring through. Sorry, you're parkouring through an old sort of like a Middle Eastern, maybe Turkish sort of style town. And that was the biggest thing about the first game, was the beauty of how well they did the parkour. Now, in this following, what they've done is they've bragged that the new map is probably twice as big as the original map, which it is, but the map is not filled full of a city this time.
It's more sparse.
You've gone out into the countryside, like where Nicole lives, where people's back gardens are basically a field and crazy things like that. So
shut up. It's a backyard.
That is not a backyard. That is a football pitch where we live.
Well, if you think that's bad, you need to see where Kim lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 44 acres, so yeah.
And my parents have 18.
All right.
Very nice. So the way they use this environment is not fill it full of stuff, is make it quite sparse, but you travel around it using vehicles. Vehicles weren't in the first game at all. And for me, because of why I love the first game and the tight-knit city and the way you're interacting with the city, moving around it and being chased down by zombies and all that, for me, they've taken that away entirely. There are places where you can do your parkour, but they're a lot smaller. And I'm a bit gutted, to be honest, because I love this game so much, to have this expansion. And like the Batman game, for example, they put the car in there and then they built everything around doing something with the car. And I think this is the same. They thought, right, we're going to put this buggy in there. And now everything seems to revolve around this buggy. You're constantly having to upgrade your buggy, repair your buggy. And for me, they've just changed the game. What are they laughing at?
Apparently,
I'm laughing at you say buggy because it sounds like boogie. I'm sorry.
sorry, Nicole. Shall I speak like all you American thinkers English speak? Yeah, so when I'm in my buggy...
No, you're fine.
Boogie and the Buggy.
Yeah, when I'm like buggy, in my buggy.
Nice.
So when you're having a
Bye-bye.
boogie in your buggy, it just seems like a bit too much for me. They've changed the game too much, and
Okay.
I will play it, I will complete it, but for me, it's a misstep because of what they've done. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell this week.
Well, thank you so much. And, recapping, Oxenfree, buyer beware. The Division Beta, if you're not buying this, you're dead to us.
Really?
Just Cause 3, you need this just for absolute fun time. And Lara Croft Go, why not? It's only a pound.
Yes.
And Dying Light the following, what have you done?
Yeah. Naughty Techland.
Yeah. Bad. All right, Nicole, before we continue on, anybody in the chat we might want to give some shout-out love to?
I'm so excited. It's cool because like Jade's in there, and we haven't seen Jade Archer in forever.
Right.
Food dropped by to say hi, and then we promptly ignored him, like always.
As we should.
I know. Bongo's in there.
All right.
And it's like it's home week, me, Kim, Nat. I'm sure he'll say something nasty here in a second. And I told Jade to quit encouraging Nat with I like his southern accent. No, you do not like his southern accent. So.
Okay. Kibosh on the southern accent.
Don't encourage him.
We don't encourage anything around here. We don't.
No.
We're very, very good about not encouraging things. Kim, I would like to encourage you at this point, though. I do want to encourage you to talk about the games you have been playing.
Alrighty, I can do that. I have been playing.
Then.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I've been playing a little Diablo 3, which should surprise no one at this time because it's slowly turning into the Dragon Age thing again.
Shocking, Kim, that you are playing Diablo 3. Yes, shocking.
I know, right? It's terrible. I think maybe I might be close to the end of this main story, but I'm not sure. So we'll see.
All right.
And of course, I'm still. I don't know if this is incredibly sad or I'm just a good waster of time. I am still on the free trial for Unravel, so I've been.
You've been diligent, but I mean, it was 10 hours. So, you've been diligent with your 10 hours. You probably, how many hours do you have left? Because they tell you every time you log in.
I think I have 6 hours left.
What the hell have you been doing?
Thank you. Obviously not unraveling anything.
I had to go back and play the first level because I had to go back. I didn't realize there was little collectibles you had to go find. Right. So I had to go back and play through the first level a couple times to get all the collectibles.
In fairness, though, good on you, Kim, for at least knowing you had to quit out of it quickly to save your time. Because for as long as you have been attempting to play this game, you've probably had, well over, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
3 weeks, somewhere in there? 2-3 weeks? So
people have beat it by now, so.
Also true. I didn't want to bring that up. Yes. But you still have 7 hours. You could still beat the game.
I could do this. And yesterday, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, I got a beta code. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this or not, so if I suddenly disappear, I
believe you can, because I think they're opening up the NDA on Gigantic.
Oh, good. So the ninjas won't be after me. No. But yeah, I got a beta code for Gigantic, and I fired it up the other day, and I think I played through the tutorial.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know.
I'm with you. I want to like it because I've somehow said to myself that I need to like these kinds of games because they're becoming very popular, and I have yet to like any of them. I Smite is cool.
Yeah. I haven't got started on it yet. I'm afraid to.
Yeah. But Smite to me was the same thing as Gigantic in many ways. And I don't know.
I'm with you there. I don't know. I mean, I played through it, and I think I finally finished it and beat the big bad guy and all that. And I'm just kind of like, yeah. And maybe it's just my gaming tastes have changed because it used to be something like that before. I would be all over it, and now I'm just kind of like, maybe.
You and Rich coming with the sound effects for the podcast. That's good. Rich, would that be about what you would characterize it with, the sound effect? Does that work? The visual one, okay.
Hey, there we
All right.
go. But yeah, that's been pretty much it for me. So
Okay, all right, fair enough.
So exciting.
Oh, just quickly, Kim.
yeah,
Unravel.
Yeah.
What do you think of it? Because I've heard mixed reviews about it. I mean, is it worth picking up? Do you think, or is it
I
worth
think
just playing the
so.
free trial?
I'm not sure. It's kind of like I said before. I don't know if I'd pay. It's only like $20, and that's not bad. But I don't know if I'd ever pay the full $20 for it. But I do like it. I mean, it's a beautiful game, and I mean, it was a little weird because nothing talks, so you're just kind of left with the environment noises and the background music. So that's a little weird because I'm used to something, yelling something at me.
Kim,
And
you talk to yourself all the time.
this is true, but
I was gonna say you could make your own story.
yeah, but no, it is a neat little game, and I like the concept of it. So yeah, I mean, I give it a pass. I like it. So
By the way, Rich, kudos to you for being a better host than me and getting her to talk about the game. Thank you. That's good. I want to bring you back. Marcanix is fired, as far as I'm concerned. You're just gonna take his spot.
oh, poor Mark.
Mark.
I'll have to get a lot of coffee in.
Kim, was there anything else you wanted to add in on that? Are we good?
No, that's
Okay.
about it. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Nicole.
Yes.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Greg.
How are
How
you
are
doing?
you?
I'm doing fantastic.
We're great. You know why? It's because I played with you. That's why.
Can you talk a little bit about this? Because I'm excited to hear you talk about this.
You are.
I have
What?
to read the description because that had. I sent you guys that picture, and I was rolling today when I
All
read
right,
this.
So let's set the stage correctly. Nicole came across a mobile game. It is mobile, correct?
Yes.
Came across a mobile game that she sent out a WhatsApp message to the podcast team, letting us know
Right.
the name of this game and the description of this game, which I, Greg DeLacy, endorsed this game. I also endorse Powerade. I'll expect my checks
Trying to
later.
get all your royalties in.
Exactly. All right, continue on, Nicole. The show floor is yours.
Yeah, so the name of the game is Greg. I know. And this description, can math be sexy? Ever? Probably not, but Greg certainly is a strong contender. So,
Love this game. Love it.
slick design, the sexiest, although it says maths, because it's apparently a British person wrote this, the sexiest maths game around. I can't, that too many S's in there. Mm-mm. So anyway, I did play this game, and it's pretty fucking sexy. And it has porn music.
It's the best part.
I know. So, and this is in the kids section, no less. I
bring
had
it.
to laugh.
That is kind of funny that description, by the way, is being used for a game in the kids section.
You know what?
Oh.
Oh my god! So yeah, I was cracking up so hard. All it is they give you a little number at the top and like 20 numbers at the bottom, and you have to add them together to get the number at the top. So, but it was so freaking funny to listen to that music in the kids section, no less.
Right.
Oh, forgot to mute myself.
Well,
Well,
it's
I
like
had to
you're in
put the volume
stereo.
back up so you guys could hear the music. So
The sexy
yeah,
time
sorry.
music, yes.
So sexy time music.
How much did the
But
game
it's
cost?
Actually it was free because it's through that Sam guy from App Gratis. He sends out free iPhone stuff daily. Dude's like on it too.
All right.
7-something in the morning, you get your email saying, "Hey, you got a free game." So kudos to him
All
for the free game thing every day. Yeah,
And kudos for him for getting this fantastic titled game. I mean,
I just was like, I saw that and I'm like, oh.
I did a double check as well. I mean, when I saw that, I was like, wait, it's called Greg. Okay.
It is called. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. And I was cracking up because I'm like, and it's a sexy beast, all right.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Math is not my forte, but it was fun.
It
But
sounds.
it's funny.
It almost sounds like a student project, to be honest. What am I going to call my game? I'll just call it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my math project.
Greg.
Greg. Sexy
But
Greg.
I did like sexy Greg.
That's going to be the sequel, by the way. Sexy Greg.
With the porn music.
Yes.
I know you can't beat free.
No.
Yeah, it's
So-
also free on the iOS in England. So the iOS store in England, it is free. I've just downloaded it, so I shall now be able to play with Greg myself. So
Well,
I encourage everybody to play with Greg. I
Sadly, yeah.
wherever I go, whether it be the grocery
He
store.
did, in the chat. He
Yes.
said, especially the girls, but he didn't care who played with him.
Yes, I would like to
So-
clarify. I did say I prefer the ladies.
Yes.
well,
So
well,
If it makes you feel
sadly,
bad,
Greg's
Greg.
not on Android, so
I'm playing with Greg on the
Nat, grow
toilet.
your hair out, Nat. Yeah.
If I could grow my hair out, do you think I wouldn't?
I now have multiple bad visuals, especially now that Rich has explained that this will be used in conjunction with the toilet. All right, moving on. Nicole, what else would you like to talk
Yes.
about?
Did a little Rocket League. My son set up because remember you explained last week doing the thing to get the gears or whatever. See, I
The
don't
armadillo.
remember what it was.
Sorry.
Yes.
Let me say this properly. To get the armadillo.
Yeah, it's the armadillo.
Armadillo.
And there's
There's
stop
no
messing
R's.
it.
Armadillo.
Armadillo. Yes. So he set it up to be like 38 freaking games.
Oh shit. That's a
For the
lot.
league.
Oops. Only need to be 9 for the record.
I understand that, but
And you do have to get through the playoffs and win.
it's not a problem. I'm playing 4v4 and I'm kicking ass. I lost one game,
Okay.
so
But
not doing too shabby, but
38
only, like-
games.
I'm like only like 12 games down, and so yeah.
Yeah, because a 9-game season took, I want to say, a little over an hour to get through. Because there's like 5
Yeah.
minutes a game, so do the math. I'm not going to do the math. Even though I have my own math game, I'm not going to do the math.
Well, you obviously are doing math all the time if you have your own math game, so you deserve a break.
Sexy math. Anyway, so Rocket League, you're making your way to get your armadillo. And
So
you know what?
armadillo.
I need to find out how to get the warthog. I still have not looked that up. Does anybody know? Anybody?
I didn't look it up. I'm too busy going through my 38 freaking games. But I told my son, I said, "You're gonna play some of these.
Yeah.
Set this crap up." So
Yeah.
I let him play 2 or 3 games yesterday, and he whipped right through it. So
Right, but I mean, there's a
course,
time limit, so you can't really whip through it. It's 5 minutes a game.
I mean, but
Yeah. Did
just
you
go
also
with
see
it.
they put in DLC for the Batmobile?
No,
Yeah.
but I see
Yes.
Kim will now be playing.
Yeah.
I have the DeLorean. So
Yes, this is the
I
DeLorean,
do the DeLorean.
and they're coming out with Batman DLC for the Superman Batman movie. My only disappointment with the sponsored pieces within Rocket League is that they don't allow you to customize those. So on the Armadillo, you can't put a hat. You can't do different tires. You get the gears Armadillo. If you want the Batmobile, you're just going to get the Batmobile. You can't put a funny hat on it. You can't do anything crazy with it. So,
That probably
Trade-offs.
has to do with licensing.
absolutely.
And so,
We
yeah.
cannot
can't
disgrace the
screw with that.
Batmobile. Okay, so Rocket League. What? Anything else, Nicole?
Yeah. Because I've apparently played with you a lot this week.
It's all good.
all coming together.
Because we did the division beta as our
Right.
group.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was group sexy time.
Anybody say orgy? What? No.
No, because it was you, me, and Mark. Was it just you, me, and Mark?
Yeah, there was the three of us, and we were trying to get Fu in at one point. I don't know if we ever got him into our group or not. That I don't recall.
No, for Division, not Rocket League.
Correct.
Did he try and play Rocket? No. Oh, boo! I'm so sorry.
Know.
You're forgettable.
That hurts, man. That hurts.
Ouch.
Poor
No,
Fu.
it's not. Honestly, it's the fact that I have no brains.
No.
I have a good memory. It's just real short.
You've been drinking again, Nicole. It's okay.
It's soda.
It's soda, I swear.
I promise.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you for that, Nicole. For me, so not a ton I'm going to go over. I mean, Rocket League, Fallout 4, we've talked about those games ad nauseum, so they're both great. Go play them if you are even remotely interested. You'll enjoy them.
Just very, very, very quickly on Rocket League, you guys playing it on the Bone or on PC?
The Bone.
Have you played the PC version?
Play mine on my Xbox. I don't have a Bone.
I've not.
No, I just wondered if there's much difference between, because obviously people have been raving about the PC version and the PS4 version.
So what I can tell you, so Mike Chin played on PC for quite some time, and then he got it on the Xbox One. Now, this is one of those funny things about PC gaming and the elitists out there. So Mike, to play Rocket League, had to turn some of his settings down on his PC. Now, he had an older PC at the time, so it wasn't like he could run it at real high settings. So he had turned down a lot of the settings to keep it running smooth. In his version of Rocket League on the PC, he didn't realize that the pitch actually had grass. So when he played it on the Xbox One, he's like, "Oh my God, there's grass!" So, I think it's one of those things. I think it compares pretty favorably across the board. But on PC, depending on your rig, depending on your setup, you may have different things set up on it, and so I guess that's the one nice thing about the console versions is you're not going to have to worry about that. The version you get is the version you get.
Yeah.
It's a good thing and a bad thing depending on who you are and what you have set up. So, but I have not heard a bad thing about the console versions in comparison to the PC version so far.
No, because I have it on both PS4 and Xbox, and I would play it anytime on either one of them. They're both beautiful, and they're both fun.
Yeah.
It's a smooth experience.
You get a group of crazies like us and play.
Right.
You're in for some serious entertainment. Yeah,
and it is entertainment because, I mean, competition probably not so much because half the time we're circling around the ball instead of actually hitting it.
We are.
Yeah. So
unless
anyway.
You're Mark.
Mark comes in and he's like, hitting all the goals in, and
Overachiever.
Oh God, totally.
He's such a bitch.
Anyway, so the game I want to talk about, The Fire and the Flood. So this is a roguelike game. I am not the biggest roguelike fan. I usually don't play games like that. But something about this game grabbed my attention, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to almost sight unseen in a sense kind of buy it. I had seen the trailers for it. I was excited about it. So it is a survival adventure game where you're a little girl. You have a dog that you come across, you find, that becomes your companion. And it's kind of, I don't want to say apocalyptic setting, but something has gone on where basically most of the population has left. And so you set off with this dog companion. You have this raft made out of all kinds of different pieces and parts of houses, and I think a car is part of what your raft is built out of. And you set off down this river, and along the way down the river, there are going to be camping spots or just locations that you can dock and get out and go on foot. And then once you're on foot, you explore the environment. You're picking up different pieces of things like fishing line or fishing hooks or lumber, tinder for starting a fire, or food. Different food items, and there's different kinds of plants that you'll come across. Some are poisonous to you. Some are edible, but they have to be cooked first. And so, you get these different things, and the key is just trying to survive and get down the river as far as you can go. And in terms of the river travel, it is very linear in that you're always going downriver. You can't go back upriver. Even when you upgrade your raft with the motorboat, it's always this notion of keep going downriver. And the river itself it's kind of the most actiony part of it in some respects, because your raft is fragile and you will collide into things. So you have to control the raft as you're going down the river and steer it clear of obstacles or debris that's going down the river with you. And the river current changes. Sometimes you get into rough white water. Sometimes it's more calm water. So there's that element to it. And then when you dock and you get out on foot, it's a little more open world-ish, but they're real small hubs. And so all of this, doesn't sound terribly difficult, but the thing about this world is there's lots of things out there that will kill you. There's wolves and bears, very obvious choices. But then there's the times where you'll come across a boar, and boars in this game they're angry animals. They want to come and hit you, and if they make contact with you, you will maybe break a bone. You maybe will get lacerations, and then you have to craft out of the things that you've been finding either bandages or a splint to set your bone, so to speak. And without that, your health will deteriorate. And on top of that, you have to continue to eat because you get hungry, you get thirsty. And so you find jars and you have to collect water. But if you collect water out of standing water, it's poison, is polluted basically, so you have to filter it. So you have to craft a water filter. So there's a lot of complexity to it, but it is a compelling, fun game. And the difference between it and other roguelikes out there, most other roguelikes out there, once you die, you start at the very beginning, and you're kind of armed with the knowledge of what happened. Maybe sometimes you have gear that comes back with you. In this game, there are checkpoints that happen along the way. So once you get to a checkpoint, you'll have the option of starting back at that checkpoint. You won't get all of the gear that you had, so you'll kind of start at where you were at that starting point or that checkpoint. But you at least have some knowledge about where, what pitfalls are in front of you and how you might do it differently. So I really like that element to it. And of course, again, it's how far you can get down that river. And so I've been pleasantly surprised by it. The artistic style of it is kind of like an isometric top-down view, cel-shaded kind of cartoony look to it. Some very neat things they do with the audio in this game. Like you'll hear like crows that that they might be in and around your area, and you hear the crows going off. Crows attract wolves. And so you want to scare the crows away as fast as possible, otherwise they potentially are going to attract a wolf in there. And wolves, unless you have some kind of spike trap, you can't fight the wolf. It will kill you. So the elements are against you, and the things are stacked against you in such a way that it makes it very challenging. But there is and maybe it's kind of that just be able to kind of go back just a little bit and restart it component to it that I've just really enjoyed. And it also has a bunch of folk music in it that when you get on your raft in particular, it'll play as you're going down the river. It's just
like
fun. Totally. Banjos.
Know, right?
No, completely like banjo type, folk music just going down the river. And so, yeah, I have really enjoyed
Squeal
it.
like a piggy.
Squeal like Boy, you
We're
look
in a
pretty
totally
there. Yeah, I
different
know.
bed
I
lately.
know.
Just like try to be
It's
smooth
not
and cool.
Deliverance. It's not Deliverance, but it's close. And you will come across other people, and I hadn't actually experienced this up until my playthrough this morning. There are times where you come across other individuals, and there are some dialogue things that happen, and for the most part, it seems like they're straightforward. But I believe, and I only say I believe just because it gave you some options on dialogue choices, and I think depending on what you pick, could potentially either lock you out of something that you might be rewarded with, or in one instance, it might actually result in that other individual attacking you, or attacking you and your
In
dog.
one instance. Would it
Well,
be the guy that attacked you is the one that had the banjo?
no,
I'm just-
no.
Okay. Just
But yeah, I mean,
clarifying.
I don't want to say anything only because I don't know quite how the game reproduces things. Because I think it has about 10 different hub worlds. And I think every time you restart it, it switches them up. So you're not going to play through it and experience the same thing over and over again. So again, there's some real good replayability to this game. And it's not super painful in terms of reloading, that kind of thing. It does a decent enough job. I think the initial load is probably load screens the worst of it. But I want to say it was $20 US, 15. Do the math, £5. Anyway, I definitely like it. I'm not going to sit there and say this is the best game in the world and everybody should run out and get it. I wish there was a demo for this game because I think it would probably demo pretty good. Although maybe not, because it is difficult, and so maybe people would get turned off by that. But it's one of those games also, as you learn what makes what and what you kind of need early on to survive, you suddenly start seeing your ability to get down the river farther each time, or continue on further, gets better and better. So anyway, the Fire and the Flood, I thoroughly enjoy it. I would definitely recommend it if you like that kind of game.
So, is this a PC game, Greg? Or?
It is out on PC. It's out on Xbox One as well right now. And I believe it's coming to the PS4, but it's not out yet on the PS4.
Why bother with that? Don't worry about it. Just do it.
They've got enough games, right?
Oh my God, Robin's not here.
No, he is not. All right, well, let's talk about some news topics before we dive into our podcast trivia. So there's a few things that went on over the course of the week. One, Halo 5 getting firefight mode had me very excited, so I had to throw this in there.
I thought you were going to wet yourself.
Well, I love firefight modes. I love the horde modes. I think they're a really good option for these multiplayer shooters, especially for somebody that isn't going to be going in and playing, the main competitive multiplayer. Like I just don't play that anymore. So I like firefight modes. I like the horde modes because I think those are fun community games. You just get together. You don't have to be super serious. So for me, I was super excited about that. HTC Vive got a price, so basically $800 US. I am going to assume it's actually more than £5 more, or £5. The 5 rule probably doesn't take effect here. It's going to be shipping in early April. Pre-orders actually are starting on February 29th. Now, we look at the HTC Vive, we look at the Oculus Rift. It's basically a $200 difference, but the HTC Vive is shipping with its controllers, the two paddle controllers. It's also shipping with the Lighthouse, which the Lighthouse are basically the two devices. They're like two, they look like speaker boxes to me, but basically you mount them up in the room, and they actually will map the room so it will tell you in-game if you're nearing a wall, if you're moving around in VR. It also comes with the forward-facing camera that you can actually use to just kind of turn on and be able to see in front of you as opposed to having to take the Oculus headset off. So there's a lot more it's shipping with versus the standard Oculus Rift, which is just the Rift and the Xbox One controller. So, I mean, you can make the argument that, that's where that $200 goes. I think the interesting thing about this, though, is where does that put Sony with PSVR? I mean, everybody's like, oh, it's going to come in way cheaper. They're going to come in at like $400. I don't know. Now, I think Sony now sees, and, smartly they waited. They've been waiting to price. But, maybe we'd go around the room. Where do we think PSVR comes in now, price? I'll start with Kim, and then we'll go to Nicole. I'm just forewarning, since I know you're doing something.
So I was chatting.
Chatting, yes. And then we'll go to you, Rich. But Kim, what do you think? What do you think PSVR comes in at?
Oh, well, I know in my predictions I said it'd be cheaper, so, hoping maybe at least get one of those right. But I don't know. Maybe it'll come in between the two. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Just...
So you think maybe they come in at like $650, $700, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Nicole, what do you think? PSVR. We now know the competition.
I'm kind of with her on this one. It's got to be mid-range, you would hope. Just because you don't want to undercut, and you don't want to be too expensive, and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. It does have extras, so yeah, like she said, somewhere in the middle.
There are hundreds of thousands of Sony fans right now screaming at you both because they hate you.
Don't care.
I know. Rich, what do you think? Where do you think it comes in at?
I think Sony will pitch it a bit lower. I think they'll probably come in more the $500 mark, just a bit under the Oculus, if anything.
Right.
They'll probably make a loss on it, but just to ship it. I mean, I know Sony have got a bit of previous on shipping the hardware at a bit of a loss and then recouping the money back. But I can't see how anyone's going to recoup any money back in VR because who's going to get it, realistically?
Well, aside from that last argument, because I think it's going to launch maybe less. It's not going to just take off from the get-go, but. I'm with you, Rich. I think $500 actually makes a lot of sense to me now. The more and more I think about their scenario and the situation, they can be a price leader, and also if you think about it from a system standpoint, we know that to do VR on the PC, you need not only these VR headsets, but you need a pretty beefy rig. So. They're saying about $1,500 is the minimum you'd need to spend for both the rig and the VR headset to get yourself off and running. That means if Sony's in at $500, their total system cost is $850. They're still way under the curve. So I think there's no real reason for them to go any lower than $500 at this point. They can be a per headset price loss leader, or that they'll be the cheapest, and they'll be the cheapest system altogether. So, I don't think this bodes well, quite honestly, for a PSVR price being under $500. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe they do come way under that, but I think this gives Sony a lot of room at this point to say, yeah, we'll launch it at $500 and see how it goes.
Yeah. I don't think they need to go too low because, like you say, I mean, they've already got the advantage that when you put this on, it's going to work. It's not, you're not having to spend £1,000 on a PC to make what you're getting work. You've got the PlayStation 4, so you put it on your head and it's going to work. So that they've got that. So they don't. Maybe they'll pitch higher based on that argument that yes, we might cost $800, but this is $800. Plus another $700 for your PC. So, we are cheapest by that way. But I think they will pitch it at $500 and just try and blow any competition out of the water. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's next news story. You guys remember Senator Leland Yee from California, Mr. Anti-Violent Game Senator Leland Yee? He was arrested. 2-3 years back now for conspiracy to basically smuggle illegal firearms into the U.S. So
Wow.
He has been sentenced now to 5 years in prison. So there's not much to cover on the story other than what a crazy turn of events this all took. I mean, this guy was so vocal, anti-violent video games, and here he is running this, underground, operation to smuggle weapons into the U.S. for gangs.
Because that's not violent at all. Yeah.
No, not at all. Maybe it was the quote-unquote perfect cover, or at least he thought it was.
He certainly lost the moral high ground so far, anyway. So
Yeah. And I've seen pictures of him. I don't think he's going to do well in prison.
No.
It's not going to be fun for him.
No.
Next up, rumor Battlefield 5 is going to be set in World War I. Is this exciting or is this boring?
It is for me.
Exciting for you, Kim? You're excited for World War I.
I am, yes, because I'm.
She's excited for Battlefield.
I'm excited for Battlefield, to be honest.
All right.
But I mean, after Hardline, I love Battlefield, but Hardline was just one I couldn't get into. I don't know why. Maybe because it wasn't military enough. I don't know.
Infinite handcuffs should have made you happy, Kim.
No, right? And the whole tasering thing, I should have been all over it, but no.
Everybody loves a good taser and handcuffs.
That's how Kim gets her dates. No, I'm just kidding.
Hi, my name's Kim.
I'm totally kidding.
Slap.
Hey,
Rich,
something like that. I'm just saying.
Rich, are you excited? Possible World War I game?
It's to be honest, because it's probably going to be more of a stripped back game. It makes people want to play it more because I mean the way that COD's gone and Battlefield's gone now, where you've got crazy jumping space suits with 20 different kinds of grenade, that just it gets me away from the game. I don't play them anymore because of that, because I can't press 15 buttons. I'm too old. My hands can't negotiate so much. So if they strip it back and there's maybe 3 or 4 guns and you're just running and gunning, I think that will get a lot of people, especially me, back into this sort of game. So I mean, World War One.
We know the story of World War I. It was fairly straightforward. You were in the trench, and then you heard the whistle, and it was time to run. Nicole, are you excited for this gameplay? I mean, does that excite you? Charge the next machine gun nest?
I think I would actually prefer, like they said, that old school. You get your choice of 4 guns, a knife, whatever. Maybe get a little homemade grenade and a regular grenade. I don't care. But I like the fact that if it's going to be simplified, that's way more my style. Because like you said, the parkouring is cool, but really, come on. None of our soldiers really do the parkour thing. Nobody's soldiers do.
They totally do, man. Totally do. It's real. No, I think this is unanimous. I think I'm on board with this as well. So World War I has me a bit excited. I think there were some crazy, devastating weapons used in World War I that get overlooked. If you played Valiant Hearts, you probably had a taste of that. So this could be exciting. We'll see. This next story, and this was a crazy one. It popped up today. So there's a Nintendo public relations employee, Allison Rapp, who has been really vocal about basically being a kind of pro-pedophilia pedophile, if you will, in Nintendo. She basically has taken this stance, and not to go down too much the rabbit hole of the story, because I don't necessarily know it's really worth talking about in some respect, but she feels that the Western civilizations, especially the U.S., are extremely conservative in our views on sex, and she was making the argument basically that, look, in Japan, the age of consent is 13, and the age of consent is 13 in many countries in and around the world, and so therefore that really, they should not be trying to put bans on any kind of material that has children being portrayed in what we would deem pornographic ways. I just will just say this. It's such a crock of shit, and shut up and just get fired, because you're doing Nintendo no favors.
I'm being attacked.
I mean, look, I'm sorry. If you live in a country where 13 years is the age of consent and you think that's okay, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Just going to throw that out there. Maybe
agree.
it is your country is still getting up to speed with the rest of the world, but 13 is definitely not an age where anybody should making that kind of decision making.
100% agreed because I have a 12-year-old.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, once they're 14, it's totally cool, but
No, not even then.
I was joking.
24 maybe.
There you go. All right, well, let's just continue on. Next story. Ubisoft has officially confirmed they are basically fighting off Vivendi from a hostile takeover right now. I guess they have reached out to the Canadian government. They're trying to see if they might get some assistance there. But Vivendi has been basically buying up stock, and they're trying to get themselves to be in a position of a majority stakeholder in Ubisoft. I really don't want to see this happen. Vivendi used to own Blizzard, and by de facto, they were able to get themselves in as a position of power for Activision. And at that point, we saw Activision pretty much go down the shitter for a while. Not that they haven't really come up from it, but yeah, Vivendi to me is not a company vested and interested in making video games. They're a company vested in buying up media properties and trying to sell them off when they're no longer valuable to them. Any thoughts from any of you? Chime in as you want.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm like,
This,
we're all in the majority today.
This is why my game is also sexy and correct. Greg, sexy math time, yeah?
I'm a big Ubi fanboy, and I wouldn't want someone coming in and just fucking them up. To be blunt about it,
Right.
So it's crazy that this company can do that to such a that I view as a big company. It can be hostilely taken over. So hopefully not.
Yeah, we'll cross our fingers. We'll cross our fingers they're able to hold them off. All right,
definitely.
it's trivia time.
Woohoo!
This is the moment you've been waiting for, right, Rich?
Oh well, before we start,
Yes.
I've actually got to say that I do have a 100% record in the trivia.
Yes,
100%
you do.
wrong.
100% wrong. Robin actually elevated himself out of that role as well. He did get on the points board last time. So you're actually down there with Mike Chin right now. Mike Chin has yet to register points, if I'm not mistaken. He's probably screaming the thing right now, being like, "That's unfair. I've only been on one podcast this year." But that's life, right? That's the way it goes.
It's his fault.
Totally his fault. Yes, Mike also does not have a point on the board. So, Rich, this is an opportunity for you to get yourself out of the cellar. By the way, we're never actually going to let Mike back on the show. So, any other future guests, you will always have a chance at getting yourself out of the cellar. All right, here we go. So, the way it works, I will ask a question. It's multiple choice. Each of you are going to give me an answer before I give the actual answer, and we'll see who's right. I will do a random draw for who I pick to go first and second and finally third. Don't use anything incriminating like Google, the chat. Look away, avert your eyes, hands up, hands out of your pants, Kim. All right.
Any pants.
Here we go. Keep forgetting. How many classes are there to choose from for Commander Shepard in the original Mass Effect? Nicole's favorite game all time.
I hate that
Original Mass Effect, how many classes were there to choose from for Commander Shepard? Was it A4, B6,
God.
C5, or D7? You can thank Jason Johnson, by the way. Jason Johnson is our trivia master. He sent us in this trivia. Thank you, Jason, for sending it in.
Send me more Dragon Age questions. What?
He also likes to do the whole mixing up of
Jason
things. So
can kiss my ass right now.
here we go. 4, 6, 5, or 7. How many different classes were there to choose from? Nicole, you'll go first. There's one is not an option, Nicole. There was not one is not one of the answers.
One was not an option. I'll go with 4. That's 4 pink
Nicole is throwing up a 4. Rich, what do you say? How many classes were there to choose from in the original Mass Effect?
I was going to go 4. So, because I think the original game, maybe they've not got many classes. So, I'm going to have to go with 5. If that was even an option.
5 is an option, yes. So 4 from Nicole, 5 from Rich. Kim, where do you stand on this? How many classes in the original Mass Effect? 4, 6, 5, or 7?
I'm going to say 4 because I can't remember.
So we've got 4, 4,
you are
5, and 4. I am excited and disappointed to say that nobody got that right.
Huh.
It was, in fact, 6 classes
Really?
for the original Shepard. Yes, 6 in the original Mass Effect.
Well, shoot me. I'll be damned.
We'll shoot you indeed. All right, next question. And this is the easy one.
Woohoo!
I hate the way he said that.
What is the name of the region where both Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver take place? What is the region in which Pokemon Gold and Silver take place? Is it A, Kanto, B, Kalos, or Kalos, C, Hoenn, or D, Johto? Where does the original, or sorry, what region does both Pokemon Gold and Silver take place? Rich.
Well, I don't know, so I'm going to go for the answer, which is also my favourite thing to do on a Friday night, and that's Hoenn.
Hoenn, okay. Rich has gone with Hoenn. Kim, what are you going to go with here? What is the original region, or the name of the region? I keep saying original, I don't know why. What is the region where both Pokemon Silver and Gold take place? Is it Kanto, Kalos, Hoenn, or Johto?
I'm going to go with Kalos.
Kalos, okay. And Nicole?
I'm going to go with Johto.
All right. Johto, so we've got Rich, Hoenn. We've got Kim feeling a little Kalos. And Nicole just wants to Johto. I can say one of you has got this right. Nicole, you got this right.
No fucking way.
Yes, Johto is
darn.
the region where both Pokemon Gold and Silver take place.
Nicely done.
Rich, I'm so sorry. You continue to be tied with Mike. A perfect spotless record. And Nicole, well done on what can only be characterized as a miraculous quiz. All right. Well, Jason, again, thank you so much for all the hard work you put into the news quiz. We do very much appreciate it. Let us move on from that. Well done, everybody, though, by the way. Those were not exactly easy questions. Yeah, those were not easy questions. So, I mean, they were easy for me. I knew all of the answers. I don't know why you guys couldn't get them right, but...
Of course.
Yeah.
You know us, slackers.
Speaking
That's
of being a
right.
slacker, Nicole, why don't we go through new releases, if you'd be so
We can
kind?
do that. I will be so kind. Ready, Freddy?
Ready, Freddy.
Is it the 28th through the 5th? Yep, it sure is. 28th, oh gosh. February through the 5th of March. So Soul Axiom on PC, Mac, and Linux starting February 29th. Is that Deponia Doomsday on PC, March 1st?
Right.
Barkai, oh Lord have mercy. Thank you. Primal. I hit the button, so
Oh,
scroll
gotcha.
up.
I'm like, That's pretty not the right title you're talking about right here. There's no Oh No Mercy in this one.
No, I hit the damn wrong button. So, Far Cry Primal PC March 1st, Heavy Rain PS4 March 1st, Iron Cast, sorry, weird game name, for PS4 on March 1st. Is that a serious game, McDroid?
McDroid, it is a serious game. Well, I don't know how serious it is, but it is a game.
Wow, McDroid for Xbox One and PS4 also on
McDonald's
March.
is getting into the gaming business.
Right? That's what I'm thinking.
It is
McDroid.
not a McDonald's tie-in game. I actually looked it up real quickly. It looks like it's one of those. I'll call it a puzzle platformer, but that's really not the right description. But it feels like a browser game in some respects. I don't know. I might not be doing it justice at all. I only gave it a quick glance look. It was up on the Steams, so I saw it there. So
That was all. We're good.
yeah.
So, Mortal Kombat Extra Large.
Mortal Kombat Extra Large. Yeah? No.
Excellent. Yeah, you did great. Return to who?
Yeah.
Polo Croyus. Sure.
What?
Polo Croyus.
I was like,
Lolo.
yeah, we'll just go with a story of Seasons Fairy Tale for the 3DS on March 1st. They seriously like to mess up, don't they? Screen Cheat, Xbox One, PS4. Square Heroes, because round ones just won't do for the PS4. Trulon, the Shadow Engine on PC. The Witch and the 100 Knight. Really?
Revival Edition.
Yes, that's the Revival Edition.
Mm-hmm.
I know, for the PS4. All kinds of excitement there. Not really. I'm assuming that's Blaze Blue. Chrono Phantasma Extended PC on March 2nd. What the hell?
So
is
what was
with
that
the
one,
name?
Nicole? I think I missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The Chrono Phantasma?
The Chrono Phantasma. It's extended.
Yes. Are you serious?
The pill for that.
Yeah. Well, it is Blaze
It's also
Blue.
blue.
It is Blaze Blue.
I know. You don't understand. When I really should preview these because when I read them cold like this, I'm like, they seriously can't. It cannot be serious.
I do want to point out, this is nobody's fault but your own.
Because
we do put these notes out ahead of time. It's not like this was just magically put in front of you.
I understand that.
I know.
You know, I have kids.
I'm just giving you a little grief. It's what I do.
Well, that's okay. I think the reason we have the Blue Blaze or the Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma Extended PC on March 2nd is because we also have the Crazy Pixel Streaker, which gave us the Chrono Phantasma Extended, also being released on PC March 2nd. Crazy Pixel Streaker. That's an awesome name for a game. Gunscape for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Black Desert Online for the PC on March 3rd. Blue Rider. Stop laughing. E.T. Armies. Into the Stars. All on PC. Iron Cast. I got it right that time. On the Xbox One for March 4th. And The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess High Def for the Wii U on March 4th.
Fraser Moose he's going to run out and buy that.
He will.
He loves the HD remasters. Especially when they call them HD remasters.
Yeah, that's true. Path of Exile Ascendancy for the PC. And I'm sorry. Tell me you added that game.
Nope.
Oh, Ultimate Chicken Horse for the PC.
Oh, boy.
Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Boy, I'm going to buy that one. Telling you.
I'm so playing that damn game.
Could be Game of the Year. You never know.
Maybe
Maybe it's going to be as sexy as Greg.
I doubt it.
Is that possible? Is that, I mean, you know.
The sexy maths.
Greg's a pretty damn sexy game.
Yeah. All right. Kim, why why don't we
Yes,
have
boss.
you read out a little bit on the monthly freebies? Since we're coming
Oh,
into March,
right.
we have a bunch of the PSNs, the Xbox Live Game with Gold. So let's find out what will our hard-earned dollars that we spend on these subscriptions get us that we feel are free games, even though we are actually paying for them.
Alrighty, your monthly freebies, games with gold for the month of March. For the Xbox One, we have Sherlock Holmes: Crimes and Punishments. I'm excited. That will be March 1st through the 31st.
He likes
We
the
also,
punishment part.
I like the pun. Yeah, well, shh. We already went over with the tasers and the handcuffs. Anyway, next we have Lords of the Fallen, March 16th through April 15th. That is on the Xbox One.
Yep.
And on the Xbox 360, we have Supreme Commander 2, March 1st to the 15th. And we have everyone's favorite RPG shoot 'em up. Maybe not. Borderlands, March 16th through the 31st. And of course, those
it still holds up well.
I imagine. And of course, those will be backwards compatible. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did I mention?
Two.
I bought Supreme Commander 2 like 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, Mark was giving you a load of shit for that.
Yeah, I saw it on sale and I was like, you know what? I want to play an RTS game. There's nothing else out there, so I was like, yeah, you know what? I will buy Supreme Commander 2. It was like $10. I had $5 in credit, so it didn't cost me a ton, but inevitably this happens.
Of course. You have my luck. That's usually what happens to me. So our March free games for the PS Plus, we have PS4 Broforce, and we have Galaxy Z for the PlayStation. Yeah, whatever those are. For the PlayStation 3, we have The Last Guy, and we have Super Stardust HD.
Which, interesting, I thought they gave this away before on PS Plus. Am I wrong? I thought Super Stardust HD came out already on PlayStation Plus.
I don't know.
I swore. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it was some other game giveaway.
Behind.
I don't know, but anyway. I can see we're not going to get an answer to that in this group, so we'll move on.
I don't know. So I have
maybe
PS
somebody
Plus,
somebody in the chat that is listening to this will eventually hear this and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it came out or it didn't."
It may have been released for the PS3 and not the 4.
But that's just it. It's the PS3 version for PS Plus, so I'm confused.
And now so am I. Thanks for that.
I'm here for you.
And we have for the PS Vita, Flame Over and Reality Fighters.
All right.
That's me all the time. And that is our
Flame Over.
That is our free games for the month of March.
Excellent. All right. Mr. Natras, do you like racing?
No.
No, never mind, Rich. You can completely disregard this whole segment right now. We have ongoing Forza 6 stuff happening, so I'm duly supposed to be talking about this. The IndyCar Championship League is going on right now. This was a league that I mistakenly thought I was part of and then realized I really wasn't going to be able to be part of. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll make an effort to be part of it. And then the Henwood told me, no, don't worry about it. You're not part of it. If you're confused, so was I for like 2 weeks straight. But they are racing. They have their events going on right now. They just finished up the Long Beach racetrack, and the next one will be the Sebring Full in the Wet. Yes, in the wet, as in the rain, nothing else, ladies. It'll be Wednesday at 9 p.m., 11 p.m. GMT. So if you're part of this league, make sure you are on time. And there you go. We also have the WEC first Monday of each month race. That will be coming up again because we'll have a Monday in March. Anyway, they didn't tell me what track it's going to be, so who the fuck knows? But, if you need to know, and you are desperate to know, like I am at this point, what track I should be practicing for that first race, contact at the Henwood or at Parsnip Knows 3000. Both very nice individuals. They will gladly point you in the right direction to make sure you know the right track, setup, all of that good stuff. Now, we are Epic. This is something that I think all of us probably should be taking part in, or if if we haven't yet, we should, because there's free money happening here, folks. Every quarter, we give away a $20 gift certificate in the U.S. For either PSN, Steam, or Xbox Live. We don't do it for Nintendo. We clearly are Nintendo racists. But if you make a 30-second, and that's not true, we can figure it out. But make a 30-second video, put it up on our Facebook page. That's epic.g4te.com. That's the easiest way to get to it. And put your video clip up there. Make sure it's epic. That's the big key to this. And it needs to be either epic great or epic fail. But epic. So something out of the ordinary, something crazy good that people are going to either be laughing at, or you're just going to be like, holy crap, he just sniped somebody halfway across the map. Headshot one time. Anyway, get it up there. We take a look at all the videos after the quarter ends, which it will end in March, first quarter. And we'll pick one that we feel is the best representative of We Are Epic. And then that person wins 20 space bucks. Or, again, do the math, 15 pounds. Victories Achieved is another contest that we like to run. And this one is even easier. Well, maybe. For some, easier. For some, not so much. It's when you finish a game, you take a picture of yourself and the game in the background. Maybe it's a selfie, Make sure it's your face, though, by the way, not nether regions, Kim.
What?
And get that, tweet that off to @g4te.com, spell the dot, and make sure you include in victories achieved, hashtag victory achieved. Make sure we know that you completed the game, give us the title, and then you get entered in this contest. Again, simple, it's easy, and you could win another $20. And again, it can be on PSN, Xbox Live, or Steam. And if you're desperate, maybe Nintendo.
I like the first one. I like our first victory.
So the first victory achieved, you know what? I'm going to, Rich, you have the notes in front of you. I think we need a proper British reading for our victories achieved that has been updated as of this morning. So if you would
chaps,
yes.
This is Nat calling from Britain. Welcome to this week's Victories Achieved. The first one is by Murphy's Geet Law, and that is Rocket League, followed by our good friend Marcanix, who also has completed Rocket League. We've got Adamsk86, aka Carl Adams, who again has done the Rocket League. And then we move on to the king of the victories achieved, Mr. Amras89 himself, who, for his first game, has completed Nightmares from the Deep, Davy Jones. Then we've got Travis and Infected Psych. I don't know if that's one person or two together. They've completed Lego Dimensions. Then we have Companion Cube, who's gone through Resident Evil 6. Back to our good friend Gary Amiibo Amras. He has also completed Rocket League. And also, he's done the Deadly Tower of Monsters.
That was
On to J Rambo 4. He has done Unravel. So, obviously doing a lot better than you, Kim, on that one.
Yeah.
And finally, last but by no means least, we have Caliburn M, who has done The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt.
All right, okay. So I have to dial this back a moment, and I want to, congratulations to everybody, especially that first guy, Murphy's Yeats Law. Good job on completing the games. But I'm suspicious of Gary Lever. Amras89. I think I've seen Rocket League on his list before. Now, no doubt he's completed this game on different versions. But I'm just, And then this Deadly Tower of Monsters. I mean, Deadly Tower of Pencils. I could make all kinds of games up. I don't trust him anymore. He's a Nintendo fan, too.
I was going to say that's probably a 3DS game.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, all right. We also have this thing called the completion chart. By the way, Rich, well done on the reading.
I know, excellent, actually.
Proper English. I felt like I was at a match. We have a completion chart that our tried and true Bongo the Sane has thrown up, and basically, what this is. I'm sorry, what?
You said thrown up. I said, oh, he vomited it.
He did. He kind of puked it up on the page. It's crazy. But for every completed game that gets outdone or put out there, it's going to get assigned a point value. Basically, for those of us, for the most part, who have completed real games, we get 1 point. Or if you do Gary Lever type games, you get a half point. And the points. This isn't really going to win anybody anything other than potentially, something like a nice T-shirt. But for the kids, okay, it's T-shirt and a mug is going to go to the winner, the person that's completed the most games. But for all the points totaled up, Robin Tate is donating basically the equivalent in pounds to basically charity for Extra Life. So. Immensely worthwhile. So, get your victories achieved in because that's basically how he's taking them in. And, you can take part in this. But so far, 28 people have completed some games, at least one. And, it ranges from Amorous 89 and a crazy amount of these, silly little, 20-minute games. I'm kidding, Gary. I know they're longer than that. They're like 25 minutes. But... and it goes all the way down to the last person who only has a half point. This scumbag. He's just milking the system, apparently. That's that Murphy's Law guy. But it really is a worthwhile cause. So get it up in there because it's going to cost Robin a lot of money at the end of the day. And we like seeing that. He's made a lot of money off of kids and ice cream. He has. All right. We're at that point. Let's wrap this show up. A little bit of a short show, but we kind of breezed through some really good topics. I'd love the participation that we get from the community, and of course, if you want to be part of the community in the chat, and Nicole, we'll do a quick shout out of those people in just a second. But all you have to do is every Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and oh God, it's 11 p.m. in the UK. You can live watch the show, and if you don't live in one of those regions, like Kim or our good friend Chapstick down in Australia, figure it out because I don't know what time zone you're in. But again, tune into Twitch. I'm tired.
Wherever.
Twitch. Live.g4te.com. That's where we are. You'll see us up here in all the glory of video. And then, of course, if you miss the podcast on Twitch, you can always download it through iTunes. You can also rewatch it. We put it back on YouTube. So look us up on YouTube if you want. You can watch it there or listen to it, however you want to look at it. And you can email the podcast at g4te.com. You can tweet us, and we'll say something sarcastic back to you, at OC_podcast. You might even get invited onto the show, like Rich did. That happens,
If you email enough times, that's pretty much happened. Just badger you. And
exactly. I think we really did send you like 500 messages, and you begrudgingly came on the show. We do have a Facebook page.
Stop.
I know. Fine. Facebook, that's a place we are. epic.g4te.com. That's really where you want just to go. Forget all the other pages of our Facebook group. Just go to that page, put your video up, and then from there explore. We don't ask for donations. We don't need money from anybody. But if you are so inclined, we do have a donation page, and that all goes back into our prize pool fund, which could basically just be coming back to you. So do that if you will, if you want. And iTunes reviews, because, hey, the more reviews you have out there, the more you get found. So I'm tired of talking. So, Rich, why don't you start us off? Some shout-outs.
Obviously my first shout-out is to my partners in crime on the Boss Wave, Chris and
the fuck? You give them the shout-out first? Oh, God damn.
Well, I'll save the special one till the end, Greg. That's what it is. And
Best
the
for
man
last.
with the most beautiful hair in podcasting, Verbal Rob. And secondly, of course, a shout out to you guys. You know, this podcasting world is fairly new to me, so getting the chance to come on to what I see as the big daddy of us all is honestly an honour to podcast with you legends.
Now I feel
and
bad.
especially you, my lovely Nicole.
Rich,
So, yeah,
can I ask a favor?
Yeah.
Don't you
Can you
fucking
do it,
dare.
Nicole? Can you do
No.
it, Nicole? Come on. Give me a Nicole.
Well, howdy there, y'all. It's me, y'all favorite Nicole. I was kind of late tonight, but I eventually made it on because I knew my good friend Nat was going to come on, and I could not turn down the opportunity to talk to my beloved Nat.
We could just end the show now. I think that we're good. That was
That's it.
brilliant.
Mic drop.
Yep, dropping the mic.
I'm not pulling a bongo.
No. Yes, well done. You are definitely coming back on this show.
Don't
No
pull
shit.
you. You're God.
All right. Why don't we move it over to Kim?
Yeah, all right. God, I don't know if I could follow that. I just,
That's a tough
All
follow.
right, right?
Yeah.
I want to thank, Rich for being on here. I finally get to meet Rich other than Clash of Clans. So, hey,
Yeah.
there's that. I want to thank you guys for another great podcast, and putting up with my shit. And our shatters in the on the Twitch and our viewers and, our listeners and all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning us in. Because without you, well, there'd be no point in doing this. So,
All right.
that's it for me. How about you, Emma?
I'm still having issues. I still think he makes me sound like Hanky the Christmas Pooh.
Or Cleveland from Family Guy.
I really don't sound that. I don't know. I'm not even gonna argue on that. I'm not. So, shout out to y'all, Nat and Nat. Seriously, this has been absolutely brilliant. Loved it today. So it was lots of fun. And shout out to Sarah, who showed up late to the chat, since she didn't get mentioned earlier, but everybody else pretty much stayed that same smooth groove of people that we get. So we thank them for making it entertaining all the way around. You can find me on Twitter, OC_Amaryllis, Amaranth on the Xbox, and Amaryllis on PS4 and Steam. So find me there and follow. No, don't follow me. That sounds creepy.
Stalker.
Yeah, I'm like, I have my fair share of stalkers. I'm good.
Yeah.
So let's just stick it to Twitter. Yeah.
Stick it to Twitter.
And I do want to thank whoever created that lovely, sexy math game, Greg. 'Cause it was fun playing with you today.
Yeah, I think I might have to file a cease and desist, though, until I get my cut. Licensing and all,
Of course.
So tell us. Close it out for us, bud.
All right.
Tank top.
President Tank Top. At least you don't call me President Vest. I don't get this whole UK thing of vests, because a vest in the US is so different than what you guys call a vest. Anyway, no, of course, a huge shout out to the three of you. I was going to say four of you because I look and I see four pictures, but one of them's me. So a big shout out to the three of you. Rich, obviously, thank you so much for joining last minute, but definitely appreciated having you on the show. You absolutely will get an invite to come back. It's been a slice of heaven.
It's been a pleasure.
And, Kim and Nicole, come on. You're like my big sisters, or little sisters, however you want to look at it. I guess I am the oldest one here, so you're my little sisters. A shout out to everybody in the chat or chat. We do love our community participation. It definitely makes this all worthwhile, as Kim pointed out. And obviously, follow us on Twitter. Don't stalk us, but follow us. And obviously come back next week because we'll be doing this again and we'll be having fun. And hopefully you enjoy the show. And of course, shout out to Mark. Hope you feel better. I know he wasn't exactly up to feeling for the show tonight, so want to make sure we give him a little bit of love. And I think I've really run out of words. I know, it sounds amazing.
Is that
that's
possible?
all the love he needs.
Yeah.
Replaced him with Nat.
I know, I did really
Way
fire
to
him
love
mid-show.
the guy.
You're fired. But I love
We
you.
love you.
Yeah. All right.
Mixed messages.
It really is that time it's time to go. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm hoping this is going to load up and play music at some point. Maybe
I got the music.
now.
I can bring the game back up.
Boom, chicka. Do the Destiny dance.